Hello and welcome to BadgerCam. In this week's video I'm going to be building the Airfix 1/400th scale Mary Rose starter set. This is a model of King Henry VIII's ill-fated flagship. Though the full reason for its sinking can only be speculated at, it is thought that a gust of wind caught it at the wrong time and she rolled over too much, taking on water through the gun ports and then capsized, with many of the crew still on board. The wreck was successfully raised in 1982 and is the only Tudor battleship in existence to this day. It is on show at the Portsmouth Historical Docks and is most certainly on my bucket list to see at some point. Anyway, let's have a look at what's in this rather packed box. In the box you get some glue, the main reason I bought this kit, black and white instructions, 4 acrylic paints to finish the model, a lovely little set of decals to do all the little bits that would be nearly impossible to paint by hand, fold over paper sticker flags, the bits to make the ship, and an Airfix number 2 brush. First look at the sprues. Yeah, these are the cleanest I've seen so far. Very crisp. Virtually no flash on these to clean up. The model's tooling is from 2014, so it's fairly new, and being of a Tudor warship, I doubt that it's sold in the millions, being slightly niche. Anyway, on with the build. First thing it has you doing is the upper deck. This is really simple and the parts go together well. With that done, it's time to add the upper and lower decks to one of the sides of the hull. Before adding the other hull side to complete the lower hull. These parts need a little light persuasion to get them to go together. Just make sure if you're building this to make sure the deck is as far forward in the hull as you can get it. A peg also helps to hold the rear of the ship together while it dries. With the lower hull done, it's pre-painting time. I get the feeling it will be much easier to paint everything now rather than later. All of the wooden areas get a light brown coat and the sails get a nice cream coat. I'm using the paints provided in the kit for this. The paints are okay, not great to be honest, but they will do. They all need a good stir before use though, as you can see here, before being stirred they're a bit glumpy as they've all settled out over time. Sometime later, and that's the pre-painting all done. After adding the white trim areas to the hull, this is what it is looking like so far. Looks alright, I think. Only thing I've used not in the kit is a bit of dark wash to bring out a few of the details. Painting all done for now, I'm next going to add the decals, as again I think this will be easier to do now rather than later. The decals are nice. Some of the thinner ones are a bit fiddly to line up. A pair of tweezers definitely makes this easier to do. Think this is the only area of the build a new modeler would struggle with. If you haven't got tweezers, a cocktail stick would also help with this. Anyway, this is how she's looking so far. Next on the build menu is adding the crow's nest to the mast. The masts need a little bit of tweaking to straighten them out, but the bend's nothing to worry about. Once that's done, it's adding the sails. I decided after doing this to make the stand earlier than suggested, so I didn't have to handle the ship while the masts were drying. Sometime later, once they've all dried properly, it's just a matter of adding the sails and masts to the hull to complete the ship, along with the rudder and a few other little bits. All of this is really simple and no problems to report. Last but not least, it's adding the flags. This was tricky to do, but I found bending them over a nail made this process easier. And this is the finished model. All in all, I'm happy with how it's turned out. It's a good kit for a new modeler, but it has a few little bits that are a little bit tricky, like the decals that would benefit from having tweezers. The paints the model comes with would do a good job by themselves, but will need a good stirring before use, as these small tubs don't take long to settle out. The detail on the model I think is good, but I really wish that it came with some of the rope rigging ladders. Having built some small boats before, I think it looks a little bit naked without them, as the other small boats came with them. I'm not sure why Airfix haven't added these to the kit, but I imagine it's to keep things simple for a new modeler. Anyway, that's my look at the Airfix Mary Rose in 1/400th scale. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're thinking of building one of these yourself, it gives you a good idea of what to expect from the kit. Until next time though, look after yourselves and have a good one. Goodbye.